Hello, Joseph Scarborough here, and this is the Moron League sequel commentary. And the first thing you may notice right off the bat is, hey, actual scenery! Yeah, as much as in the spirit of Action League now as Moron League later was, I wanted to avoid that with the sequel and actually do some actual sets and scenery to put the characters in actual settings. This Scarborough Street here was something that I put together. The Information Center building, as you're going to see here, that was on the corner, was really the only thing that I actually constructed myself for this set here, mainly because it had to fall apart anyway. Now, as for the actual idea for the plot, that was something that I pretty much put together at random. I was going through another one of my Yoshi kicks at the time, and I had these BD&A Yoshi beanies that I got them off eBay several years ago. I mean, they were around when I was a kid, but they were hard to find, so I got them off eBay. Just green, red, and yellow. Blue is always hard to find because how rare it is, and even whenever it is listed on eBay, it's usually for outrageous prices. But yeah, anyway, there's that, and this Britney figure that was that I also got that off eBay. I think it was a Happy Meal item from the early 90s. And so yeah, I guess the Yoshis thought that she was an unspecified princess that Mario was looking for, because I mean, what isn't that the thing in just about all Mario games, that he's always got to find some princess that gets herself kidnapped in the Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so yeah, that kind of plot that actually put the Nerdlucks in a situation where, hey, they actually had to come to the rescue for somebody. Inside the old Hooper store here, getting lunch. Just like the Action League itself, you know, whenever they got some kind of assignment ahead of them, they always put it off and go for something more important first, like, in this case, lunch. Cake, 25 cents. Wow. Was I not using the tripod again? Because this is awfully shaky. What is wrong with me not using the tripod? Really? I mean, what was I thinking? Okay, that must be tripod. That's a lot clearer. So yeah, like I said, I put together some actual sets for this one. I mean, they're cheap, but they work. And coming up here, we're going to have some actual outdoor footage. And a big crash. That was the running gag of this one. Again, Chuckimation at work. But yeah, this little ditch that they're crashing into, it ran alongside my apartment unit. And it was muddy that day. But, you know, with all those little rocks everywhere and it being muddy and everything, it kind of felt like they crash landed in an old riverbed. So, yeah, hey, that works, I guess. And for this shot, this scene right here, and others later, I intentionally made it look just as fake as possible with the scenery and the lighting and everything, because in so many older shows and movies where they have outdoor scenes, you can almost always tell when they switch between actual outdoor locations and inside a studio in between shots. So that's pretty much what I was doing here, going for. And looking back on it, it's ironic, this joke that Knott makes here in a minute about Warner Brothers thinking they own everything. Well, you know, at that time, yeah, that was a period on in time on YouTube where Warner Brothers, I mean, they were taking down so many videos for song use, and they didn't even own the rights to those songs. Like Muppet videos, for example, they were taking down, claiming copyright on Muppet songs that they didn't even own. But for not to make that joke, it was, looking back on it, it's ironic because, well, Warner Brothers does indeed own the Nerdlucks because they're from Space Jam, which was a Warner Brothers movie. So that didn't even register with me. That didn't even go through my mind when I made that joke. So in retrospect, it is ironic. And back inside this cave, as cheesy as it was, and it does look cheesy, the intention wasn't the same as the other shots where it was intended to look incredibly fake. But again, it is cheesy, but it works. It works. Obviously, I crumpled up some brown paper bags to make the cave walls, and I scattered these rocks throughout the set to kind of create some illusion of realism. Though why I didn't cover up the wooden surface is beyond me. I guess maybe at the time I didn't think it would show up well on this videotape, but it actually does. So, well, there's one mistake that got by me, unfortunately. And because I had so much to tape for this one and so many voices to do and everything, I did something different. Unlike, Moron League later, where all the dialogue was done live as I was, taping and stopping and taping and stopping. For this one, I shot all of the footage first. Then I recorded the dialogue and everything separately, doing the different voices and obviously speeding up Brittany's dialogue, so she'll have that squeaky chipmunk sound. And I at the time I had just got Audacity. I had just downloaded Audacity, and I was learning as I was going, and so I was able to completely mix the soundtrack separately, and then, sync that up with the video footage as I was editing, because I was just starting to get a grasp on Movie Maker a little bit. And obviously the music scoring comes from Super Mario World, which was the game that the Yoshis debuted in. And what else? Well, one interesting thing is there was actually an additional ending to this that never got made, and that was mainly because that was when YouTube still had its 10-minute time limit, and obviously what I shot here was almost already 10 minutes anyway. But there was supposed to be an additional tag to this in which we actually do see Britney's concert later. And of course the Nerdlucks got invited because, they saved her and everything. But, they were being disruptive the whole time because they were talking shop about this latest mission and everything, and, disturbing her performance and everything, that they ended up getting kicked out of the venue. But I guess in hindsight, it's good that that ending didn't get made, because I probably would have used an actual Chipette song for the concert. And I know Bagdasarian Productions will take down Chipmunk or Chipette songs from YouTube if they find them. So, if that was the case, this whole thing probably would have got nuked for copyright otherwise. This was March 2009 when I made this. It was going to be released that summer, but I think this was when I had that technical difficulty when my DVD recorder stopped working, and back when I had to transfer the master tapes to DVD plus RWs and then rip those on the computer and put them on YouTube. Because I think, this was around the time that particular season of Steve, with the Dear Steve episodes, though the release of those was delayed as well because of that. So this is, again, Moron League sequel. I think this was definitely an improvement from Moron League later, and I have a feeling that Moron League 4 will be an even bigger improvement over all of these, so stay tuned.